So, hello everyone, welcome to the webinar once again. I hope all of you are well and safe during these challenging times. Online webinars are a challenges, but I would just try to keep it interesting and crisp so everyone feels interested in listening to the webinar. So, topic of the webinar we have got in hand today is Kibana visualizations using simple drag and drop. So before going to the topic of webinar and going to more details, I would like to briefly introduce myself first. So my name is Saad. I'm a data analyst at Skillfield. I'm an Elastic certified engineer, and quite recently I passed the certified analyst exam. So I'm also a Kibana certified analyst, and I have been working at Skillfield specifically with Elastic for more than 1.5 years now. And before joining Skillfield, I've done Masters of Information Systems at Deakin University, based in Melbourne, Australia. And apart from my technical and educational background, I'm a snooker freak. So whenever I'm not working around technologies, I go to a nearby snooker club just to play some snooker. By no means I'm a pro at it, but I enjoy playing it. So that's all about me. And for agenda of the webinar, firstly, I would go through what Elastic Stack as a whole solution is. And then I will go into more details about the visualization tool or the UI we have got to access the Elastic Stack, which is Kibana. Then I will explain in more details about the different types of visualizations we can build using Kibana tool. And finally, I will be delivering a live demo. So to kick things off, what is Elastic Stack? So as you can see within Elastic Stack, we have got multiple layers: an ingest layer, store, search, and analyze layer, and then finally we have got a visualize layer. So to ingest data, we have got Beats and Logstash. So you can use either Beats or Logstash, or you can even use a combination of both. So what are Beats? Beats are light data weight shippers that you can install on your host. They are very lightweight, so you can just ingest data using Beats from your host to Elasticsearch, which will be the output in our case. So let's say you are interested in measuring CPU percentage of your platform, of your host, of any system you want to monitor. You can install metric beats. Similarly, if you are interested in monitoring audit logs for a particular host, you can install audit beats. We have got different modules available within each of the beat. You can just simply enable them in the configuration file and output data straight to Elasticsearch. So there is no parsing needed for it, and all of the data ingested to Elasticsearch is according to Elastic Common Schema, which is a unified schema provided by Elastic. So you don't need to do anything related to parsing as well. Now, what is Logstash? Logstash provides you with a complete data streaming pipeline. So using Logstash, you can input data from a variety of sources, and you can transform that data, aggregate that data on Logstash host itself. And finally, you can output data to output of your choice. So in our case, it would be Elasticsearch. So what is Elasticsearch? Elasticsearch is what I would call the brain of the stack, or the center component of the stack. This is where the storage of the data, analysis of the data, everything in the background you are doing, it will be done on Elasticsearch itself. Then what is Kibana for? Kibana provides you a nice UI to navigate the complete stack itself. So all in all, Beats, Logstash, Elasticsearch, and Kibana collectively make Elastic Stack. Now I will go into more detail about Kibana. Kibana, as I said, is a user interface to Elasticsearch. It is free and open source. Using it, you can navigate throughout the stack itself. Using Kibana, you can discover data in its original form when once it is ingested to Elasticsearch using either logs or beads. Then you can create visualization based on that data. You can create rule-based alerts, threshold-based alerts on that data, and finally you can create some machine learning jobs on it as well. These machine learning jobs can be as simple as anomaly detection or something more complex as the classification jobs. But for the machine learning jobs, you need to have a paid version of Elastic. So the platinum license of Elastic you would need for to run these machine learning jobs within Elasticsearch or Kibana. So next, what are the options we have got to create these visualizations, these interesting visualizations within Kibana? To start with, we have got a whole bunch of options just to create the aggregation-based visualizations. We have got access to area charts, data tables, gauge, horizontal and vertical bar charts, which are quite popular and useful. Then we can represent the information in a line chart. If you want to show a particular metric, you can show it using the metric visualization. You've got access to Tag Cloud, where you can visualize data for using the keywords. And similarly, you've got timely on and other visualizations as well. If you want to visualize geospatial data, you have got option of maps visualizations. You can opt for that. And to uh, really explore or get the full uh, capabilities of aggregation, you can use time series visual builder, and you can create some very complex visualization based on different aggregation parameters using time series visual builder. And if you want to have something very customized for your own use case, you can use a Vega visualization within Kibana. It has got its own syntax using which you can create those visualizations. And last but not the least, we have got Kibana Lens, which is a drag and drop tool you can use within Kibana. So with all these visualization types, what would be a good starting point, or which one would you go with? Now, of course, it depends on your use case, but a good starting point usually, let's say I start building a visualization, and after working on it, after going through the data, I figure out, okay, probably this information is a bit too much for this visualization. So maybe another visualization type would better suit my purpose. So then I switch back to a different visualization type. Now, all of this can be quite time consuming, and at the same time I need to uh, have some more detail about my data as well. Can you please mute yourself? Yeah, thank you. All right, so uh, a good choice, not to overdo the process or not to spend too much time if you don't know much about your data. A good starting point would be to start with Kibana Lens. And this is something which is recommended by Elastic for most of the users. So what is Kibana Lens? It is a simple drag and drop editor. You can just choose the fields which you have got within the index or the data within Elastic, and you can drag those fields and drop them towards the center, and it would show you the visualization. And then, of course, you have the suggestions available, which you can use to better show those visualizations in the same Kibana Lens visualization tab. And we have got access to different kind of aggregations. You can calculate min, max, sum, average. All those type of aggregations can easily be done within Kibana Lens. I will show you how it is done when I'm doing the demo. And at the same time, usually when you start working on a particular visualization type in Kibana, firstly, you have to select the index pattern based on which that visualization will be created. But for Kibana Lens, you can define multiple index pattern. You can have multiple data sources coming in, and you can show them on the same visualization. And of course, it is something recommended by Elastic for most of the users as well. Now, before going to the demo, I would like to have a chance to briefly explain the sample data we have got in hand for the demo. Sample data is flights data, which is provided by Elastic. So each document of the data represents a flight record, and it is for 4 of the airlines we have got in flights data. And some of the key fields within flights data include carrier field, which is name of the airline, and then we have got the information about cancelled flights, so whether the flight has been cancelled or not. Then we have got some fields for origin and destination of the flights, and if we have got a flight delay, we are capturing that information in delay fields as well. So now I will just jump onto the demo and show you the magic within Kibana Lens. All right. So this is the Elastic instance we have got in hosted on Elastic Cloud itself. So once you log into Kibana, this is the home view of Kibana. If I go to these 3 lines, I can see all these options here. To go to Kibana Lens visualization, I will go to the Visualize library. Within Visualize library, these are all the existing visualizations already created. If I want to create a new one, I would select Create Visualization. I've got all of the options here: time series, visual builder, aggregation, custom maps, and then I've got the lens. I would select lens, and the first thing I would need to do is select the index pattern based on which I will be creating these visualizations. And by automatically, it has already selected Kibana sample data flights for me, since that's the default one. Similarly, I can select any other index pattern as well if I've got the data. And second thing would be, of course, the timestamp. Over what time period do I want to visualize this data? I know the data has started coming in since 19th of July, so I'll just save the time range here. So I will change the time range from 18th of July until now. So on the left side of the uh, Kibana Lens window, I've got list of all of the fields available within this index pattern of this data. Now, these are just a handful of fields, so I can easily select the relevant field I want. But let's say if I've got too many fields in my data, it gets kind of difficult to go through this list and find the relevant field to visualize on. So there is a nice search function here you can use to search that field, and we can even filter the field based on the type. So let's say if I select the string fields, it shows me the fields with string data type. I'll remove this filter for now. And for the start, the records field shows me the total records within the data. And by default, it has already selected vertical bar graph for me. I'll just drag this field and drop it towards the center. And straight away, it is showing me the records with respect to the timestamp. So by default, it is showing me the timestamp for 12 hours. I can change this parameter whenever I want. I can change this time interval and customize it from here. But for now, I won't be spending time on the timestamp field. So the next thing I want to do is I want to see these records with respect to the airline. So I will remove this timestamp field from here, and I will drag and drop this carrier field, which is basically the airline. And so now we can see we have got these 4 airlines, and we are only seeing these 4 airlines because we have got data for these 4 airlines. Here, using this, I can increase the number of top values I want to show, although these are 5, but we've got 4 airlines. That's why it is only showing us the bar chart for 4 airlines. And we have got some flights which have been cancelled. So I'll just drag this cancelled attribute, which is a Boolean attribute of true and false, and push it here. So I've just dropped it, and straight away it shows me how many flights for a particular airline have been cancelled. So true basically shows us those flights have been cancelled, and false shows us the flights haven't been cancelled. So rather than the top values of cancelled, I will just go to the filters and show the values for these airlines which have show the flights for these airlines which have been cancelled, rather than showing both of the cancelled and not cancelled flights. So I will go to the filter part and change this filter from all values to true. And we can see we have got 170 flights being cancelled for Logstash Airways and 175 for JetBeats, and similarly the count of flights that have been cancelled for other airlines. Now, this is one data source I'm showing here right now, right? So if I want to add another data source, I can just add it as another layer here. I will go to add layer, and for this particular demo, I will keep the x-axis as it is with the carrier. I'll drag and drop it here since it requires at least another field for the vertical axis. That's why it's showing an error. So we'll just drag and drop these. Actually, this will be breakdown by here, and the count of records would go on the vertical axis. Yep. Okay, so I will do the same thing here. It is showing me whether the flight has been cancelled in a true statement, and if it hasn't been cancelled in a false statement. I will do the same and have the same filter here. I will go to filters, and I will only filter down to the flights that have been cancelled. So set it to true. And now I'm seeing at the bottom bar chart, the stacked one, the flights that have been cancelled, and on the above, the flights that have been delayed. So this is the individual count for each of the airline. But I will change. I can even change this chart type. So I will change it to a line chart. So now we have got a more true visual appearance for the delayed flights, and the other one as the cancelled flights. I can even change the colors from here, since that is not something positive. So I'll give it a negative. The flights have been delayed. And similarly, I can change the color from here as well. Okay. I will just go in and save this visualization. I will give it a name of lens webinar demo 1. I can give it a description. It's optional, so I will skip it for just to be conscious of the time. And I won't add it to a dashboard as of now. So I'll just add it to none. Okay, so this is the first visualization we have built. We'll just go in and create another one. I will select the same index pattern, Kibana sample data flights, and the next thing I will do is I'm interested in average ticket price with respect to time. So I will just drag this average ticket price, push towards the center, and straight away I've got average ticket price every 12 hours. And rather than seeing it for every 12 hours, it would be more appropriate to see it per day. So I will customize this time interval and change it from 12 hours to 1 day. And we can see it is showing me the average. Yep. Okay. Rather than the medium, I will select average. So we can see the average ticket price goes up on 25th and the 1st of August. It is going up probably because of the weekend. So this looks accurate, and I'll just save it as another visualization. Lens demo webinar visualization 2. I won't add it to a dashboard. Save it to a library, and I will go in and create a third one. Okay, so the third one I can create based on the distance in kilometers. Let's say I'm interested in finding what are the top 6 longest flights in this sample data I've got. So I've got the distance in kilometers for the flights in this attribute, in this field. So I will drag and drop it here. And I don't want to see it for the timestamp. I will change this to a maximum. And I will check them against the flight number I've got. So I'll just drag the flight number here. So as you can see, the vertical bar graph is probably not the right choice here to show this maximum distance in kilometers. They look quite close to each other. So based on the chart types I've got, I would like it to be in a more tabular form. That's why I will select table visualization. Okay, so now I've got these two flight numbers, which have got the maximum distance. Now, to know the origin and destination of these flights, I would just add a couple of attributes here. I will add the origin city name, which should provide me the city name where the flight is originating from. And similarly, I will add the destination city name as well. Okay, so by default, it is showing me all of these fields, and it shows me, apart from the top 5 flights, it has created another bucket for rest of the flight numbers as well. So if I want to skip the other bucket, I can go to the advanced option and uncheck these other bucket, and there you go. So by default, it's showing me 5 top values. I will change it to 6. And the longest flight is from this city to Shanghai, the city. I'll just save it as another visualization type. Webinar list 3. I won't add it anywhere. So now I will combine all of these 3 visualizations which I've created using Kibana Lens to a single dashboard view. So we can visualize them all together. These are the existing visualization dashboards I've got. I already created one for the demo, but let's create just a new one. So add from the library. And this is the first, this is the second, and this is the third. Okay, so Similarly, if I want to change colors, change the title of the panel, I can do that. I can change the appearance of the legend appearing here. I can change it towards the bottom right. If I want to hide it, I can hide it within the lens tab. So I can do all sort of these things. And it is very easy because it provides me with the suggestions as well as I go on creating these visualizations. So this is all I wanted to show for the demo part. I will just save it as demo webinar dashboard. Has anyone got any questions for the webinar part, the demo part as of yet? All right. So that was all for the demo part. Now, if you want to play around Elastic, you have, of course, got a free 14 days trial, which you can sign up on the cloud itself. You don't need to install anything on your local machine. And you can try some of the advanced features uh, using this free trial. Like you can even enable machine learning on the free trial and play around with it. And Elastic has got really rich and easy to understand documentation on their website. So this documentation can take you straight to the documentation of the dashboard. But if you're interested to know more about Elastic, you can follow this documentation guide and you can find all of the relevant information there. Now, if you're interested in knowing more about this technology, knowing more about the visualization types it has to offer, if you're interested in more Elasticsearch services, deployment of the SIEM itself, any such services, here is our contact details for Skillfield. We are a company based in Melbourne, and we have got a bunch of Elasticsearch engineers with us, which can help you resolve your complex problems and yeah, make it simple for you.